quarter of the season. Welcome in the DNVR Avalanche podcast, live from the Toyota Lounge, powered by your Front Range Toyota dealerships and presented by Bet365. We've got AJ and Rudo coming to you live on an Avalanche off day, as technically the Avs are only 19 games in, but the entire NHL is essentially 20 games into their season, almost a quarter of the way through the season. And if you're being a stickler, they technically need to play one period of their 21st game. But I'm not going to be that picky about it. We're going to call it a quarter of the way through the season. I think there are some interesting conversations in the NHL and specifically the Central Division, but did want to start with some newsy stuff and some Avalanche stuff first here. First of all, a conversation that we've been having, or rather all of the Avsosphere has been having, both on our Discord and on Twitter and everywhere else. John Beecher and Phil Tomasino both on waivers over the last couple of days. Beecher gets claimed by Calgary. Tomasino did not get claimed today, so he stays in Pittsburgh. Should the Avs have any interest? Did the Avs have any interest in either of these guys, AJ?
I have a sneaky suspicion that there were multiple claims put in on Beecher.
Sure. Even the first team on the list got the claim. Yeah.
Right. But there was also a conversation for a couple of teams about, like, do we even waste the time?
Yeah. Why bother?
Yeah. Because we know somebody's going to, we know this guy's getting claimed.
Yeah.
With Tomasino, I'm a little bit more surprised that nobody did. From an Avalanche perspective, I think Beecher would have made more sense for what the forward core is right now, what their needs are. I've always been a Tomasino guy, but it just keeps not working for him.
Yeah.
And you wonder why a decent, like, he's got good tools. He's gotten a lot of ice time. Like, this is not a guy averaging 6 minutes a night, you know? So this is a guy who's been playing quite a bit, and it's just not going the way that anybody thought it would. He was, like, he's far from the worst player in the NHL.
Yeah, totally.
Right? Like, that's not the conversation. This isn't like one of those guys where you're like, this is a bottom of the barrel caliber player. I don't think he's been that. It's just, what does he do well is a fair question, and he's not making any real improvements. What kind of fit is he? He would have been a poor fit in Colorado, in my opinion, because when we're having a conversation about the Avalanche forward core today, there's a couple of opportunities for guys for upgrades, right?
Yep.
But fully healthy,
yep,
Kiviranta, Logan O'Connor, Zakhar Bardakov are all back in, or not Zakhar Bardakov.
Nichushkin?
Yes, thank you. Val Nichushkin, the other Russian. Val Nichushkin. Those guys get back into your lineup. I got to tell Eric we're still using this graphic. Those guys get back into your lineup, and where exactly are they playing? Like, you can make a strong argument right now that Kiviranta's not even in that lineup because
I agree. I don't.
So,
not an argument. I think it's reality.
And we have a preference of Parker Kelly to stay on the wing and not play at center. And so I think that's where the John Beecher conversation made more sense than Tomasino. Beecher would have been a center. He would have been a fourth line center. He's very low on the list of players with puck skill. Not good with the puck.
Yeah.
Never has been. Wasn't a dynamite college player. Like, you go and you look at his stats and you're like, this guy's never scored at any level. It's not what he's done. He's never been a dynamic player, but he's big. He moves really well for his size. He's really smart. He takes care of the defensive zone, and he wins faceoffs. Like, that's an appealing profile for the Avalanche, and I hope they put a claim in. He would have made a lot of sense, but you can also see where the Avalanche are like, we're 13, 14 forwards deep right now. Like, we're comfortable.
Yeah,
with where we're at, that they just don't need to mess with this. And not getting one of those two guys, it is a bit of a shot. It should be a shot in the arm for Zakhar Bardakov and his confidence to say, yeah, there are warts in the game, but we want to see how you work through it.
I mean, he's got 1 week until LLC gets back, allegedly. So the time is now for Bardakov. But
and maybe he's the one giving LOC the soft tissue injuries, knowing that clock is ticking.
I think you bring up a good point, though, that the way I phrased it in today's show is, do the Colorado Avalanche even need any more forwards? And to a certain extent, of course, you're always trying to make your team better, right? You're not doing your job in the NHL if your front office isn't looking to improve at all times. But yeah, especially when we're talking about a fourth line center type of role, a John Beecher type of player, I wonder if that's just, is it too small fry for the Colorado Avalanche right now? If the Colorado Avalanche are going to add a forward, should they be looking to add maybe a more meaningful addition, and then you can make a move like dropping Jack Drury to your fourth line center instead of trying to fill from the bottom?
I don't think so. I think a big part of the appeal for me in the Beecher Avalanche fit was the way he moves, and that he would slide in. And he basically is the opposite of Zakhar Bardakov.
Yeah.
They're both big. They both have a physical play style. Beecher wins faceoffs. Bardakov doesn't. Bardakov's a better offensive player. Beecher's a better defensive player. When you're talking about a fourth line center, which one of those things is more important to you? And I think that's the appeal. And in waivers, you're talking about it's free.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work, you put him back on waivers and whatever happens, happens. Versus you've traded an asset, even if it's a 5th or 6th round pick. Something like that, you know. Now I don't even want the Avs to move their late round picks. They're killing it. Last couple of years, they're killing it.
It's true. They've done better. It's all of this really boils down to is a center, though, right? I don't even know that you can make the case that John Beecher is a better player than Yoel Kiviranta, and Kiviranta is not in your lineup. It's just you have a million wings and you have 3.5 centers.
Yeah, I think it's a fair criticism of the spot, with Bardakov just being an unknown and Parker Kelly he's so much worse at center than he is at wing.
Yep,
it's just how it is. He's so much worse there. It's not like he's a terrible fourth line center. It's just he becomes he's a lot more of like Frederick Olofsson at fourth line center, where you're just like, all right, this guy's out there, I guess.
He exists.
When he's a wing, you go, that's an NHLer.
Yeah, I agree. It's just a hard spot and to be in as the Avs, and not in a bad way. I think if anything, it's a good problem to have, that you have
Classic
too many good players. Problem. Yeah, right. Exactly. Hard to be mad about it. If the Avs find a guy they think fits the role, great. It's not going to be John Beecher, since Calgary was on top of that, I guess. I don't know. Something to think about. Maybe not to think about that much, though, as both Val Nichushkin and Yoel Kiviranta were skating today in practice. No contact, skating by themselves. Not saying that they're necessarily close, but for what was marked as a lower body injury for Nichushkin, if he's skating, it's got to be a decent sign, right?
Well, I mean, Yoel Kiviranta, they made it sound like he was on the verge of death. saying he was out indefinitely and then getting no follow-up on it.
Yeah.
And Nichushkin, it was like, well, week to week. And we've heard anytime we hear week to week out of Jared Bednar, we go, all right, there's a month.
Yeah.
So the fact that both guys, and as you mentioned, both lower body injuries, that they're out there skating tells you they shouldn't be miles off.
Right.
They're good.
Well, Bedsy let it slip the
we'll
other
see.
day, right, with Kivy, who was like, well, the original timeline was 16 weeks, and now he's skating, so...
16 weeks?
Yeah.
So, like 3.5 months?
Yep, but clearly he seems ahead of schedule on that, so...
Yeah, did they replace a body part? What? Well, what's he been out, like a month?
Yeah, I think it's 3 or 4 weeks now.
So, all right. I mean, he played 5 games, so he's missed 14 games.
Yep.
Yeah, so about a month. I mean, okay.
All I'm saying is Avs are going to have to make some lineup decisions here. If Nuke is healthy, it's not hard to put him in the lineup, but who do you take out of that lineup? Do you do the Parker Kelly at center thing?
Yeah.
So Bardakov likely coming out then, but that's going to be
the question. I think it really comes down to, do you value Zakhar Bardakov at center more or Gavin Brindley at wing more? And I think the answer it has to be Brindley.
I agree. Brindley has significantly outplayed Bardakov to date, and some of that is Brindley has gotten more time on ice, but Brindley has earned that time on ice from Jared Bednar. So Bardakov hasn't. Yeah.
He's been great.
LOC coming back is easy. That's Taylor McCarr, the 12th forward, or whoever it ends up being, is back out of the lineup. Let me ask you, order-wise, if the Avs are 100% healthy, which is unlikely to ever happen, but in that world, is Kivy your 13th forward or is Bardakov your 13th forward?
It depends on who would get hurt that you would need a replacement.
All right, a center gets hurt. I get it. Yeah.
Otherwise, I think Kivy has to be your default 13th. You just trust him. He's proven. Bardakov's played no time essentially at wing, and he's just trying to figure it out as it is.
Yeah,
that sucks. I don't want to do that to him. I actually do really want to see him continue to work into the lineup and keep playing games. This just feels inevitable that
it does.
We get to 40 games into the season and Bardakov hasn't played in 3 weeks and he just goes,
I'm out. Yeah.
Yeah. Just give me my term. Let me go back to the KHL. This isn't what I wanted. But
they just trade him to the Blues or someone terrible for a 6th. Good value all around.
He can be part of a deal with Malinsky for the left-handed defenseman.
There you go. That can be the answer.
2 guys that I would like for the Avalanche to keep, and I'm like, just trade them both.
I mean, I think on the defensive side, the conversation kind of boils down to who else is it going to be if you're looking for a left-handed D?
Yeah, unfortunately, Sam Malinsky's been really solid to start the year, but I mean, this is just like a numbers. This is numbers fit style. It's just where you're at with it. If the Avs needed a solid puck moving D on the left side that they really like that fits their style, Jack Ashon's right there.
Yeah,
but they don't. They just don't need another small star. Just flat out don't need it. So. No, I think at forward, they're just in you have to feel really good about where they are right now. They get 3 more injuries into it. Of course you're not.
No one feels good 5 injuries deep. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no team in the NHL equipped for that. At that point, you're just hanging on. You're like, okay, well, our proven NHLers have to be really, really good for a while. That's just life. That's the reality of it. No team with the cap and with 32 teams now, the talent is so spread out across the league. Nobody can handle that kind of injury wave.
Just ask Florida.
Just ask the Avs last year.
No kidding. At least the Avs didn't lose anybody to a grilling incident last year, all right?
Yeah. You're right.
We do need to take our first break of the show, so let's shout out our sponsors here. Toyota is the official vehicle of the DNVR Avalanche and the official vehicle of the Colorado Avalanche. You can go get yourself into a vehicle. They have something for everyone, whether it be trucks that have been in their DNA for generations, but they've also got SUVs, sedans, and more. And all of that comes with all-wheel or four-wheel drive with 17 different models with that included. So when the weather does turn here in Colorado, you'll be ready to go on the roads regardless of what's going on. They even have more combined low and zero emission vehicles than any other automaker out there. So if you're trying to save a little bit of money on your daily commute, you can do it that way with Toyota too. Make sure you jump in with your local Front Range Toyota stores, including AutoNation Toyota Arapahoe in Centennial, Corwin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevens Toyota in Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota, again, the official vehicle of us here at DNVR and the official vehicle of the Colorado Avalanche. Go get one of those four-wheel drives. Toyota, let's go places. And once you've got yourself into your Toyota, you're going to want to drive yourself home, close the door, sit on your couch, and order yourself some Coors Light right from your couch. Choose chill today. Head over to CoorsLight.com/DNVR, and you don't even have to get up off your couch to get your Coors Light delivered right to your front door thanks to Instacart. Now, of course, they are available in pretty much every liquor store in the country if you are out and about and want to pick some up. But I'm the lazy type. I want to sit back, relax, enjoy my Avs, Nuggets, Broncos game, all of which are a treat right now, and choose chill. You know they're going to win, so why not kick back and relax with some Coors Light? Coors is cold filtered, cold lagered, and cold packaged to make sure it stays fresh. You probably know about Coors Light at this point, right? They're everywhere. Go get yourself some, or better yet, stay at home. Again, use Instacart, CoorsLight.com/DNVR to get yourself Coors Light delivered right to your front door. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Please drink responsibly. Let's get back to the show. Second period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast. AJ, did you catch the Dallas nonsense the other night at all?
Yeah.
Just curious your thoughts on the Mikko play. Suspension worthy or no?
Yeah. Okay. I think more of a the Mayfield's skate clips him.
For sure.
And I think that was a big part of what happened, but Mikko's also responsible for himself. And how many high sticks do you see where a guy accidentally clips a guy and you're just like, oh, you got to be responsible with your stick, but you suddenly don't have to be responsible for your whole body. So, I think the 5 minutes was fine. The lack of suspension makes sense to me.
Okay.
Mayfield's involvement in it makes it pretty clear cut for me. I'm good with it.
It's tough. Where do you draw the line of is Mikko shoving him to keep his own balance versus is Mikko shoving him to shove him?
To be a jerk?
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's being a jerk. We've always known Rantanen. When he gets mad, he turns into a little piss baby, and that's just who he is.
Yep.
I think that's what was happening, but I think that the Mayfield thing complicated it enough that the league could say, I get it. I would suspend him personally. Well, you and I are always like
iron fist for sure.
Yeah, we're always pro players like sending the message that we care about safety, and so I think that I understand where the league comes down on not doing it, but I would have been comfortable with it personally.
All right, just wanted to get your thoughts on it as a hot button topic of the last night.
Yeah. And then the goalie interference at 0.1 seconds. I'm sorry. That's goalie interference.
Yeah, absolutely. If the Jack Drury interference was one the other day, that one's definitely interference.
Exactly. And you know what? We all talk about consistency. That's what it looks like.
Yep. That's all you can ask. Two that are the same are the same. Call it the same way they did. I'm good with it. Stars can be mad about it. Not my problem.
Yeah. Life is hard in the NHL.
It is. Life is hard in the Central Division, too, which is what I want to get into today. We have the full standings picture here. The Avs have a 4-point lead with a game in hand on Dallas at the top of the division. And if we're being honest about it, no one else is all that close to Colorado. They've set themselves up very well to run the table this season when it comes to the Central. That doesn't mean there aren't plenty of other interesting conversations there, though. But I want to start at the top. Realistically, the Avs have an opportunity tomorrow to go 6 points up on Dallas. It's only game 20. You can't sit here and say, oh, well, season's over. Pack it up, boys. Ha, ha, ha. But this is the Avs division to lose at this point, right?
Yeah, they're in the driver's seat. Both Dallas and Colorado's ability to eke out in games they've lost is crucial.
Yeah.
Because if you look at it, what they've actually won and lost, Colorado is 13-6 and Dallas is 12-8. Dallas's underlying numbers tell the story of a team that should have lost several more games than they have. Yep. And I think that's the big key for the Stars is they were playing bad hockey and still scraping out wins. Their goaltending, their power play, all of that bailed them out of what could be the worst stretch of hockey they play all year long. So good for them, I guess. Whatever. With the Avs, I mean, it's hard to imagine that they're going to have another 20-game stretch where they lose one regulation. I guess at most they could lose tomorrow. At most 2 regulation losses. That's hard to believe. So this was probably the best 20-game stretch that we'll see from them this year. But they're great.
Yeah, all of their underlying say they're going to win more.
Playing.
Yeah,
right. They've gotten good goaltending. They score a lot of goals. They keep pucks out of the net. They don't take a ton of penalties. Their penalty kill is great. Their power play remains the one bugaboo.
Yeah,
that's about it.
Yep.
Their lineup is balanced. It's deep. You go down lines 1 through 4. All 4 lines have guys that are pacing to be 30-plus point players, which you don't want to say that about like your second line guy. But even Brock Nelson. Everybody hates Brock Nelson. 7 points in his last 10 games.
Now pushing a 40-point pace. So there.
Yeah, well, 7 points in 10 games is a 58-point pace, but yeah, the 9 points in 19 games, it's a 38-point pace. Not great, and nobody is trying to tell you otherwise.
Of course.
Okay, I'm not sitting here saying it, but I don't think Brock Nelson will sit there and tell you that it's been good enough to start the year. But
a lot better than it was. There.
Yeah, and if he can keep that up, that kind of 7 points in 10 games type of pace, you're fine the rest of the season. He's got to do that though. Like that just frankly that just has to happen. But yeah, you're looking at the Avalanche line. It's deep, man. It's deep. It's good.
Yep.
They've survived some injuries. Sam Girard's not a meaningless injury. That's a second pairing defenseman that they've been out for most of their games.
Yep.
And he's been kind of iffy since coming back. He's working his way into it. Yeah, and you have a lot of guys like Gabe Landeskog's trying to remember how to play NHL hockey. Hasn't been very productive. Jack Drury trying to play up in the lineup in a job that he's trying to prove he can do long term. There's a lot going on here.
Yep, it's not like Dallas is free of question marks either. Not just their underlying play, but Matt Duchene has been hurt for a little bit now. They have a couple of other injuries going on there. I don't really know what to make of Jake Ottinger this year, if I'm being honest. Some nights he's unstoppable. Some nights he couldn't save a beach ball. So a little bit weird.
His inconsistency has been striking to me.
Yep. The goaltending situation in the Central is really weird this year. Obviously, if Connor Hellebuck is Connor Hellebuck, that's not going to change. But then arguably the second best goaltender in the Central is Spencer Knight right now.
I mean, I think he's been first best to start this year.
You can make that argument, sure.
Like Connor Bedard is obviously becoming the guy that we thought he was going to be when he was drafted. Like, this is that type of season. Me giving up on him just gave him fuel. So you're welcome. My love is a curse and my hatred is inspiration. So that's great. Awesome. But Spencer Knight's been legit, and you look how important goaltending is. The number one reason the Blues are where they are is because their goalies have been horrific.
Disaster. Yeah, straight disaster.
Because that team is solid. They're playing solid hockey, and yet the Blues are where they are, which neener.
We'll get to the Blues in a bit. Let's move to the Jets here. Are they a legitimate contender in the Central? The Jonathan Taves experiment at 2C has gone exactly how you would expect it to, which is poorly. The team outside of Connor Hellebuck doesn't feel like it has a ton going right for it, despite them being 12-7. They're in a fine spot, but this does not feel like a scary team, does it?
No. They're a pretender. I don't need to go over this again.
You have railed on them enough. Yeah, nothing's changed. Fair enough.
Yeah. This continues to be the same team. They have some big things that they need to do at the deadline because right now they are smoke and mirrors results. And even with that, they're 7 points behind the Avs in the same number of games played.
Yeah.
Are they going to be 8 points better than the Avalanche for the next 60 games? To try and catch them in the standings. I'm not buying that.
Yeah, me neither. I do want to take us on a little tangent here with Nashville at I guess I can shoehorn it in. Nashville at the bottom of the Central, once again bad this year. I don't know that necessarily surprises anyone. At a certain point, do the Avs start to look to be the buzzard on that corpse?
I hope so.
Okay.
I mean, that is when you talk about trying to pick off some guys like a roster that you're kind of like looking at going, oh, that guy's pretty interesting. Okay, this makes sense. That's not a good fit. Nashville's roster doesn't have a lot. It's like Ryan O'Reilly for your third line center job is about the best argument that you can make.
Yeah. Yeah, I bring it up because all the news has come out over the last couple of weeks of the Avs' backup plan for Gabe Landeskog back when they were trying to get him signed to his new deal. And supposedly Philip Forsberg was going to be the answer there. So
I wonder what that deal would have looked like.
Yeah, I have no idea how. I'm glad I don't have to know. I'm glad they signed Landy and then won a cup with Landy, and then that was that. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Easy enough. Just curious about the Forsberg situation there. I don't know that Forsberg makes any sense for the Avs here today. But
not really. I mean, what assets are you going to do?
Right.
What assets are you going to move to make that deal, and then how are you going to fit it into the cap? Like Ross Colton's not getting you there.
They want to retain half and give him to you for free. You're always interested, but
of course. And Ross Colton's the guy that Nashville's been very interested in. They like him a lot.
Yeah.
And that's not going to get you Philip Forsberg. Of course not. That's silly.
Yeah. So don't know how realistic that conversation would be at this point, but just a name that's been out there swirling a little bit with the talks of what the Avs were doing years ago. But a lot more to get into here. I do want to talk about the playoff race in the Central, even if it is way too early to do that. We will get into more, but we need to take our second break of the show first. So let's. The presenting sponsor of today's show is Bet365, and you're going to want to sign up with a new account. Make sure you use the DNVR365 code. Put $10 in your account. Bet $5 or anything, win or lose. You don't even have to hit that first bet, and you'll get $150 in bonus bets to mess around with. That's basically free money to go bet on whatever you want. If you miss those bets, well, it was free money anyway. If you hit those bets, that free money is now real money in your account, which you can do what you want with. You bet on the NHL, they have their early payout offer where if a team gets up by 3 goals and you bet on them to win, you get paid out immediately. It's just that easy. They have a bunch of other great offers too on other sports, Of course, same game parlays, they have a bunch of boosts and bonuses that you need to check out. My bets have been working pretty well on Bet365 if you follow along on our pregame show. So maybe tag along with my bets and you'll hit a couple and feel good about it. Or if you think I'm dumb, make your own bets and be smarter than me. Not hard to do. Make sure you get over to Bet365 today and use that DNVR365 code, bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets. Of course, you must be 21 or older, physically located in Colorado. And if you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER today. And once you win a little bit of money with Bet365, it might be time to sign up for your new pair of sunglasses. You can get those today with Shady Rays. Everyone knows the moment where you forget your sunglasses, right? Maybe you left them at the beach because you were out for a day out there. Maybe you left them at the gas station because you were too busy trying to get your Slurpee. Whatever it might be, they are not in your car or your pocket anymore. Shady Rays has your back in that situation. When you buy a pair of Shady Rays polarized sunglasses, for the first 30 days, if you break them, you lose them, or you just don't like them, Shady Rays will replace them entirely for free, no questions asked. So you don't have to worry about that. You can actually wear your sunglasses out. We've teamed up with Shady Rays to bring you an exclusive offer. When you head to shadyrays.com, use code DNVR for 35% off any pair of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself. The shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people at Shady Rays. Third period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast. P.S. Hank forgot his Shady Rays, so it does actually happen. The read is real. Playoff race. And I know it's too early to be like, oh, well, it's coming down to the wire and every single point matters or whatever. But when you're looking at, I think we had pegged places 3 through 6 were very up in the air in the Central Division at the start of this season.
Nailed it.
Yeah, I was gonna. Do any of these teams feel like they're moving in the right direction? Utah's hot start has completely fallen apart. We've already talked about Winnipeg enough. Chicago is impressed, but this feels like it's probably closer to the peak than the floor for them this year. And then you have both Minnesota and St. Louis especially kind of floundering.
Yeah, Chicago special teams and, as mentioned, Spencer Knight are bailing them out because their 5v5 play is still not good enough for the results that they're getting. But good for them for having a little bit of fun.
Yeah, fun is great. Just happy for them. But
yeah,
they're not, are they really a playoff team? Like,
no, their process has not been bottom 5 team, which is kind of what I was expecting. It's been more like bottom 10 to 12 team. So
sure,
that's a step forward for them. And Connor Bedard hitting the turbo button and becoming like the superstar that they've been in need of.
Yep.
Hugely important for them.
Yeah, I think the fun category is there for Chicago this year. You've gotten fun out of Bedard. You've gotten fun out of Nazar. Levshinov has been fun. They're probably not that good yet, but they've been fun.
Yeah. They've been fun. I mean, Utah was fun for a few minutes too. I still think Utah is pretty good, and they're going to figure it out. But my problems, Utah, at the start of the year remain. The depth on the team just isn't very good, and so if their top guys aren't league-leading levels of good, they're going to struggle to win games.
Really banking on Nick Schmaltz being a 90 to 100 point guy is it's a big ask. Not that
well, and like the here comes the Logan Cooley breakout, and yeah, he's good, and he's got 16 points in 20 games.
Yeah, not even a point per game. So
yeah, that's that was the difference when they were winning all those games, and they looked incredible for a couple of weeks there. Their tip-top guys were pretty much unstoppable.
Yeah.
And now they're stoppable, and they lose games.
They don't have really any other options. Yeah. I think Utah is interesting just because they feel like the poster child of don't believe the hype before the 20 game mark of the season, right? And I get to say that in my ivory tower of the Avalanche's first 20 games of the season have been absurdly good, but
first in the NHL.
Yeah. But I think we understand the Avs are going to lose some games too. And I struggle with what the Central Division is this year, because I'm so used to a Central Division that, like, regardless of the preseason predictions and maybe low stretches of seasons, you're so used to looking at the Central and being like, yep, it's the Thunderdome. The Avs went 8-0-2 in their last 10, and they've gained 0 points on the division. But that isn't really the case. The last 10, the Avs are 8-0-2, and they've gained 4 points on Dallas in that stretch.
Which they lead Dallas by how many points?
4. Yep. Funny how that works.
Yeah. So that, I mean, then you look at, we're talking like, you look in the middle of it, everybody, Dallas has got 6 wins in their last 10. Winnipeg has 6 wins in their last 10. Chicago, 6 wins in their last 10. Utah's what are you guys doing here with your 2 wins in the last 10? Minnesota has 6 wins in their last 10. So it's just like, this is just how life is in this division all the time.
Got to play over 500. Yep.
That's what's different though this year is that a lot of this middle class of the division, Winnipeg through, I would still even include St. Louis because I'm a believer that they're solid.
The goaltending can't be this bad forever. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really it. Like, I just think that it will stop bleeding goals to this extent at some point.
Yeah.
But even so, I would say that the 3 through 7 spots, and it'll go back to being 3 through 6 when Chicago goes back to earth a little bit. It feels like it's a lot more of a true middle class than a bunch of like potentially elite teams this year.
Sure.
Banging at the door. The last couple of years you had Colorado, Dallas, and Winnipeg were all
tip top,
really, really good.
Yeah.
And it felt like the Avs felt like the third best team for much of those of the regular seasons. And like they smoked the Jets that first year, that one year in the postseason.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't, right now, I don't look at this year's Jets and like if Dallas and Winnipeg played in a series,
Dallas in 5. Yeah,
exactly. Dallas in 5. That's exactly what I would predict.
Yep.
So the rest of them though, like Chicago, Utah, Minnesota, St. Louis, like I'm looking at them saying the Avs would get one of them as the top seed. I'm not worried about that. And I guess I would be worried about Utah just because there's some weird voodoo with those 2 franchises where it just...
No, there's not. Not when it matters. We all saw the Arizona series. Like,
You're right. But ever since, it just feels like it's just been such a grind. And then one of those teams, like I would probably pick one of those teams comfortably against whoever they play in the Pacific right now. Right now, that's Anaheim. Give me a break with that.
Yeah. Would not be a good close series. No.
Now, Vegas?
Different story. Yeah.
Bigger Vegas. But that's the thing. Like the middle class of the Central Division is just right now it's very blah. It doesn't really scare you, but it's too good to really be like, yeah, these guys are going to bottom out. They will be uncompetitive towards postseason contention.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the case.
I do think your knocking at the door comment is accurate because you look at a team like St. Louis and Minnesota in previous years where you were like, are they really contenders? Probably not. But if you catch them on the wrong week, they could absolutely take a team down in the playoffs. And this year,
they were such a tough out.
Yeah.
It took so much to get. I mean, look at what St. Louis put the Jets through last year.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, my God. Minnesota hasn't been an easy out in the postseason in a decade. Like they just suck to play against. That's another team, their process so far this year.
Bad. Yeah.
But the opposite of St. Louis, this is what happens when your process sucks and your goaltending can bail you out versus St. Louis's solid process, bad goaltending. Which one matters more? It's the goals, man.
Of course it's the goals. Not that everything matters, right? You can't win if you give up 1 million goals, but you can't win if you don't ever score either. So objective of hockey is to score goals, it turns out.
Yeah. It's why when we're like comparing, oh, this bottom six player versus this bottom six player, it's like, all right, which one scores goals? Like they've got their pros and cons, but which one has the ability to put the puck in the net? It's just it sounds dumb to say because you watch the games and you're like, all right, well, the only thing that actually counts on the scoreboard is goals. But I think that one of the things that has happened with the analytics, the rise of analytics over the years, is that you've had some people that try and pretend like box score stats suddenly don't matter.
Yeah.
You need guys that can produce. Now, if all of Brock Nelson's points this year come in the final 30 seconds of 3-1 games, they're meaningless points. They just are. Let's be real here. Those are meaningless points. But that's not going to happen. It already hasn't happened. Like goals actually matter. Points for players matter. Being able to actually be a part of connected offense that generates the most important statistic in the game is an important thing. You just need it.
It's one of those funny things, right? Because, yeah, advanced analytics indicate trends and indicate expected outcomes that over long courses of time will be true. But there are also outliers to that conversation. If you take a poor shooter in the NHL and give him 200 shots from a Corsi perspective, be like, wow, this guy's possession numbers look great. But if those 200 shots have translated into no goals, how is he any different than a guy who gets caved in on Corsi every night?
Yeah. And that's where, I mean, you would dig deeper and you'd be like, well,
of course,
so what are the on-ice goals and
right.
goaltending? But your general point being, brother, you want the guy that scores goals for you.
Yep.
You want a guy that can actually do it. I mean, look at how valuable Victor Olofsson has been for the Avs this season. You talk about how much improved depth and look at the scoring, and like Ross Colton has 10 points in 19 games. He has 3 goals. And we know that guy's he's gonna be in the 15 to 20 range by the end of the year. He always is.
Yep.
But Victor Olofsson's given you 6 goals. It's the same number as you've gotten out of Cale Makar. Yep. Normally, you wouldn't be comparing a third line defense or third line forward to a top pairing defenseman, but it's Cale Makar. So, he's a freak when it comes to scoring goals. So we talk about it. Like Victor Olofsson, the ability to put the puck in the net. Val Nichushkin, before he got hurt, he had 5 goals in 17 games. It's not lighting the world on fire, but it's solid.
It's pretty good.
You have one guy in every single game that's going to score for you. A lot of these games, it's been 2 guys. It's been two of your depth, non-Nathan McKinnon line.
Middle 6 mostly, and Parker Kelly.
That has given you goals. Yeah, I mean, dude, Parker Kelly has 5 goals. This is the same number as Brock Nelson.
I know.
All right, whatever. Parker Kelly. I mean, Gavin Brindley has given you 4 goals. We can't just say he's been strictly a 4th liner.
Yeah, right.
He hasn't been a 2nd liner long enough to be like, his 4th line time didn't matter. That's kind of the point, though. You look at it, the only regular that they've had this season that hasn't scored a goal has been Devon Taves.
Yep. He's the only one.
Yeah. Everybody else has one. Brent Burns, Sam Malinsky, and those are 2 guys, too. You talk about depth, you talk about scoring.
Yep.
Like,
they've been huge production-wise for the Avs.
You go down your defense and you look at it, you say Devon Taves has 7 points in 19 games. It's not great. But it's
fine.
Not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not as good as you want it to be given his role and who he plays with. And I full faith he'll get to the 40-point mark again. Probably won't break 50, probably won't push 60, anything crazy like that. But 40 points are coming for that guy. But Brent Burns and Sam Malinsky with 10 points, I mean, those are 30-plus point paces for those guys.
Yep.
And if you have that all the way down your defense,
yeah, it's good.
Like, because you're talking Brent Burns and Sam Malinsky, Devon Taves, none of those guys are getting power play time.
Yep.
Meaningfully. None of them. Like your second power play unit's once again back to not
getting played. It's straight up not,
Like, none of these guys are producing offense on the power play, which means that they're all being
5-on-5 productive. 5-on-5. Yeah.
And guess where the game comes from? Guess where the wins come from?
Yeah. And there is I don't know that there's a single spot in the Avs lineup, at least of the guys who have played every night, where production is an issue, to be honest with excluding the power play, of course. But
yeah. Yeah, and like I mean, it's the easy answer there is Brock Nelson and Devon Taves offensively are two guys that you're looking at going, we need a little bit more.
Yeah. But over the last 2 weeks, it's gone from we need more now to we need a little bit more.
Yeah, well, or I would even just take, okay, we're getting this for the next 60 games.
Right. Yeah, sure.
I would take that. I'm good with. When I said we need more, I was thinking something that quite a bit like this. Perfect. This is fine. Now it's like we need more from like Jack Drury and Gabe Landeskog. And Gabe Landeskog obviously has an asterisk because he
dude should have 3 more goals. Yeah.
But 3 goals pulled off the board, that would have put him in 9 points.
Yeah.
Like we would have been like, okay, not going to be worth $7 million.
No.
There's no getting around that. It just is reality here. But also Jack Drury with his 7 points. Some of those points that Landy had taken off the board.
Yep.
Jack Drury would have had assists on. So it's like.
Which it'll be interesting with that third line and how it balances out with how much of that production is coming from Olofsson. And I know a decent amount of that are the power play goals and all of that. But
which is important. Like that's the distinction, right? Like we're talking, Sam Malinsky, Devon Taves, Brent Burns. They're not getting power play time. Victor Olofsson gets power play time, and look, all of his numbers. He has 18 points in 19 games. I'm sorry, that's arbitrary. Like he has 15 points in 19 games.
Yeah.
Like,
still, you share the love of that. You know, if you had Landy at 9, Drury at 9, and he was down at 13 or 12 or whatever, you would maybe feel a little bit better about the balance of that line. But the production from your third line has been fine. I really have no issues with it, even if you want a little bit more.
And really, if you break it down by unit and you don't look at the individual player paces, because some of them can be a little bit wonky, but you go, oh, hey, you've got 9 guys who are on pace for 40-point seasons for you. You're like,
that's a lot of guys.
That's pretty good, especially when you consider that you have 3 guys who are point per game players, like well above point per game players. Yeah. You have three of those guys are on pace for 100-point seasons. So having that kind of depth, that's meaningful depth. That's the goods. That's the kind of stuff that you and I fawned over for years with Dallas.
I love that you brought up the 100-point guys too, because it's meaningful depth, but it doesn't become scoring by committee. And we've talked for years and years and years about how teams who score by committee never find success in the playoffs. And the Avs aren't that. They still have Nathan McKinnon, Marty Necas, Cale Makar at the top of that list.
Yeah. Because you can see, you look at Seattle a couple of years ago, you look at Dallas the last couple of years, they had to have it from everybody to be successful.
Yep.
And then you look at the opposite side of that coin, the Edmonton, Colorados of the world, they had to have it from the tip top, and they had to have all of it from the tip top.
2 different ways to build a team, I guess. But
and like every single team in the NHL, will take Edmonton and Colorado over,
of course,
how Dallas and Seattle have done it. And there's a reason. What did Dallas do? Did Dallas try and continue to pay all of their roster, those like a bunch of middle salaries? No. They went out and traded for Mikko Rantanen for a freaking reason. That's how you win in the NHL. You win with the superstars.
Yep. You have to have them.
The problem is that they don't have the superstar center, and they're building around wings, which is always it's
a whole other conversation.
Keep doing it, fellas. Yeah, keep doing it, fellas. Love where you're at.
I don't know that I have
That's a difference. You look at how Chicago is building. Connor Bedard is unbelievable, right? Frank Nazar rocks.
Yep.
They're building down the middle, and they're building on defense. Sam Renzel might be my favorite young player in the NHL that isn't like a Bedard, Celebrini.
Yeah, I was gonna say
like star players.
Celebrini's my man. Like, don't even try.
How do you not love that guy? I mean, he's What does San Jose have 9 wins? It's like Celebrini has 9 wins.
It
Not
feels
to take
that
away
way.
from the rest of that team, but I'm taking away from the rest of that team because he's like 80% of their offense these days. It's crazy.
That's what it feels like.
Crazy how good he is and how bad the rest of that team still is. But with Chicago, it feels a little bit similar. Like all of a sudden they've made a Bertuzzi and Andre Burakovsky, Tara Vinen, like they've made these guys relevant again. It's amazing to see what they've got, that youth. That's why they have the fun factor. I speed backed them in the preseason ratings of each of the positions, with the caveat of by the end of the year, I could feel very differently about this, and we're on our way to that.
Especially, at least for Chicago.
Guard and Spencer Knight. Yeah, that's what I mean. For Chicago, like, you and I dogged them. They were bottom tier in everything that we ranked, every position. And by the end of this year, with Bedard and Knight having the kinds of seasons that they're having, if they keep going, they're a big old problem.
I think they might be closer to bottom tier than what they are now at the end of the season. But if they could keep up the fun factor, I'm great. I don't really have a ton to say about Nashville at the very bottom of the division, but I did want to spring off of them for a different conversation that exits the Central too. It's going to be the second year in a row here where Nashville has really struggled. When do you start wondering about Andrew Brunette's job? And to and to extend that point, who's on the race to the bottom right now as far as the first coach that's going to get fired? I've heard Knobloch's name thrown out there. I've heard Berube's name thrown out there in Toronto. Obviously, the start in Calgary, I don't know how much of that is expected versus how much they don't like that. Do we think we'll see a coach fired before New Year's?
Yeah. It's Lindy Ruff in Buffalo, right?
It is, yes.
Lindy Ruff.
You think he's going? I mean, I guess...
My best guess right now. That's my best guess for who goes first. Because, one, I believe that Toronto will turn it around enough to be in the mix and be competitive that they will talk themselves into, hanging around. That might be like a summer thing. Brunette, same thing where it's like they knew going in this wasn't going to be a good year. So what's the point?
Yeah.
Of doing it right now. The one that makes me nervous is Minnesota.
Yeah.
Yeah, because as long as we're not into overtime yet, but
we are not.
As long as Pete DeBoer is still out there, any team in the Central that wants to fire its coach, that makes me nervous that he's just hanging around.
Yeah,
they wouldn't do it, but Winnipeg should strongly consider it because Scar Neal sucks. And
yeah, too successful so far to not, even if it is a mirage. But
yeah, I could just imagine what Pete DeBoer would do for that and how badly I would be like. I guess I would be rooting for Dallas in a 2-3 scenarios just so the Avs don't have to mess with that.
You know that scene from Trailer Park Boys where Ricky has a can full of cash and he just walks around the trailer park and says, I'm going to pay you $100 to F off. That's what I want the Cronkies to do to any team in the Central looking to hire Pete DeBoer. All right, just back up the dump truck of money to not do this.
Buy them off for a year, just be like, no. Why pay a team? Just pay Pete DeBoer like $20 million.
Just pay Pete directly. Pete, go enjoy the beach somewhere. Yeah. Have a good off season.
Absolutely. Come hang out with the LA Rams. They're really good this year. Like come shadow that. Get a different feel for a different sport. God.
Whatever it takes.
How emotionally damaged are we from what that guy has done in the postseason?
The scars run deep, yeah.
I'm willing to have a rich guy pay him their money for that guy to just go away. Just get away from us. We don't even want to have to deal with the possibility of it.
But it's set up to be, I think, a pretty darn interesting Central Division that hopefully the Avs just spend the entire season above of.
Yeah, and it's funny because when the Avs they're 7 points ahead of Winnipeg for third place right now, right?
Yep.
And we're looking at that going, that's like 2 good weeks.
Yeah.
By the Jets, And last year, when those positions were reversed, it was like 7 points is insurmountable.
This is an unbelievable mountain to climb. Yeah.
Yeah. They're out of contact. This is done. Bye-bye. So it's just funny how perspective goes because I'm looking at the 7 points. I'm like, oh, Jesus. It will make me feel a little bit better, though, if the Avs beat the Rangers tomorrow and they have, through 20 games, they have a 6-point lead on Dallas. Yeah. That will feel pretty.
That does feel pretty good.
Right.
Also,
that's scary stuff.
Would be a 19 out of 20 point stretch of 10 games if the Avs do beat the Rangers. So pretty good hockey.
I mean, just get into overtime against the Rangers.
True. You get 18 points at least on that front. After the Rangers, we can take a look at the next 10 of the schedule for the Colorado Avalanches. The schedule continues to be weird. Like, obviously, it's a condensed schedule. Yeah, I know. The schedule is weird because we have the condensation because of the Olympics. But then also the league is like giving the Avs at least 1 3-day break every month. So you end up with a lot of back-to-backs, as you can see here, with the Predators, Chicago, back-to-back. Then you get the Sharks. Then you get Minnesota. And then you get Montreal. You look at the second half of that 10 games too, and you got to think, look, man, the Avs got to make hay while the sun shines here. There's a lot of beatable teams coming up for Colorado.
Well, we said that at the end of
the
October,
first 10. Yeah.
They had that stretch. They had that stretch at the end of October where they had Utah, Carolina, Boston, 2 New Jersey games, and then Vegas, San Jose, Tampa Bay, Edmonton. And we were like, those are the that's a tough schedule. And the games they lost were San Jose, Boston, and then obviously the Sega Baba in Jersey in overtime, though.
Yeah.
And it was like they and I guess they also, they did. They lost overtime and shootout Carolina and Utah.
Yep.
But they pulled points out of all of those except the true road game in Boston. Like
Boston, by the way, the top of their division now.
Right. It's been like good Boston. This hasn't even been total bum status, which I think is coming.
Yeah,
but not the point. You're right. You look at where they're at and this upcoming schedule. Like, yes, Chicago and San Jose have not been like total pushovers.
Yeah.
San Jose having beaten the Avs already, but like those are still games that you should win.
Yep.
They should win in Chicago. They should win at home against San Jose. The Minnesota game, look, Minnesota's getting by on goaltending. You should be able to beat them. Montreal is a lot of fun. You should still be able to beat them. And then Vancouver's really not very good. Then
David
you get
Kamp's
into the New York
second line center.
Teams, which yeah, and it doesn't even like take a huge jump after that next 10 where that list ends, because Seattle, Winnipeg, Minnesota, Utah, Vegas, LA, St. Louis, like I guess this is largely a reflection of my confidence in the Avalanche right now, that I don't look at any part of that schedule and go, oh my God.
How much of this is there are some easy teams on the schedule for the Colorado Avalanche versus how much of this is the expectation of the Colorado should just beat everybody?
Yeah, the Colorado should just keep doing 8-2 stretches.
Yeah, right.
Like, just keep doing that. If you're going to have another 4-game losing streak or whatever it was earlier this year, just do it in overtime to make it feel way less bad.
Yep. Keep picking up those points. Make it seem all right, which their first 10, they had 14 points out of 20, and they followed that up with that minimum 17. So it can't get that much better. I mean, at this point, what? The Avs they're trying to chase down 7 in a row. So I don't know.
I want them to win tomorrow. I want them at least get into overtime because I think it'd be fun. One regulation loss in 20 games is a lot of fun to talk about.
I do think that would be
Makes
fun
all
as
this
well.
easy.
As we are in overtime, the conversation continues online at thednvr.com. I don't know that we'll really have anything to say in overtime here, to be honest, AJ. Avs really good. I think that's the mantra right now.
Yeah, and as we've talked about a lot, it's not just that they've won the games, but I mean the goal differential, the top of their roster, the middle of their roster, all three levels have been really good. Their underlyings are good. I mean, goodness, man. The power play is literally the only thing that you look at and go, this has been a real problem. Not this could be improved or, hey, deadline wise, what are we talking about here? But power play, the only thing. This is a problem. That's a really good spot to be in. They're the only team in the NHL that's in that spot.
This is, I think, maybe part of the reason why a team like Dallas or Winnipeg is looking up in Colorado and feeling that's a big hill to climb. Yeah, Dallas is winning games, but when you ask how, you go, oh boy, Winnipeg is winning a decent amount of their games. When you ask how, you go, it doesn't look great. Colorado is winning a ton, and then you ask how, and you go, no, this is really good. Actually, the stuff that they're doing is how you win games.
You go and you look at the underlyings, and you go, oh, they're first in this, they're top 5 in this, they're top 10 in this, they're first in this, and this, and this, and you're just like, what the hell?
Yeah. Maybe there's a conversation about sustainability. It's been a really fun start to the season. It has been. It absolutely has been. You ride it while it's good, even if it does not sustain at that level. I promise the Avs are very good. We'll see if they can keep it up tomorrow. We're going to wrap up today's show. We appreciate all of y'all hanging out with us. Friday, very likely doing a mailbag with Bailey and I. So if you have questions about the Avs season you want answered, if you're in our Discord, just tag me. But we'll have a tweet out probably tomorrow that you guys can ask your questions on if you're on Twitter. So do that.
I'm so mad.
Yeah, you don't get to be on it this time.
I hate missing mailbags. They're always so fun. I love talking about what the people want to talk about.
It's the best. That's why we appreciate y'all. This has been the DNVR Avalanche podcast presented by Bet365, and we'll see you for game day tomorrow.
We all silly like the mayor.